Hi everyone, a video on the ketogenic diet has been highly requested from you, so I thought I would film to try and explain to you exactly what it is, what it does to the body, when it should be used and when it should not be used. So my biggest problem with things that are extreme is extreme measures lead to extreme results. So in my approach, I've always been very careful to only apply extreme measures in extreme situations. And if someone is looking just to lose weight, as far as I'm concerned, that is not an extreme situation, so it does not require an extreme measure. The ketogenic diet has been scientifically proven to be adequate for certain types of cancer, because cancer cells feed themselves of two things, CO2 and glucose. So that's why it's very important to breathe properly, because a buildup of CO2 in the system can feed cancer cells. And glucose is basically sugar, so high sugar diets will increase the chances of developing cancer because it's inflammatory, but also feeding cancer cells if cells start reproducing in an abnormal manner and you start having cancer cells in your system. However, even for people with cancer, when they are put on a ketogenic diet, it is within a hospital environment and it is highly monitored. There's another case where ketogenic diets have been shown to really help is people with epilepsy. The ketogenic diet is adequate for such people because they reduce the reoccurrence of fits and they will ease the symptoms of epilepsy. However, if you are looking to lose weight, I would be very careful before embarking on such a diet. It could leave you fatter in the long run. So your aim is to lose weight, but actually you end up bigger in the long run, and I'm going to explain that now. It can leave you depressed and it can really damage your hormones, which takes a long time to rebalance. So ketogenic diets are very high in fat. They have high fat, moderate to high amounts of protein, and extremely low in carbohydrates. So let's break these 3 points down. Fat is good for you, but like everything, it's good for you in moderation. High amounts of fat has to be processed by the liver. And the liver, basically, every time you have fat, it has to work. It toxifies the liver. So you want to have in your diet good fats, and you want to have moderate amounts. If you have very high levels of fats, even if they're good fats, that will disrupt the liver function. The liver is responsible for over 50 functions in the body. It is the organ with the most functions. And two of these functions are hormone homeostasis, which is hormone regulation, and lipolysis, which is burning fat cells, basically utilizing your fat stores for energy. If your liver function is impaired, it's going to impact your hormones, which can lead to hormonal disruptions and also weight gain. And it can also stop you from losing weight because it has so much work that it's going to put lipolysis at the bottom of its priorities. It'll be more important to deal with that fat that you are ingesting and processing it rather than burning fat from your stores for energy. So I know that in theory, the keto diet is meant to be amazing because when you go in ketosis, you stop tapping into the glucose in your blood, but you start going into the fat reserves in your system. And that is the theory. And it actually works in the short term. I have done it for health reasons. I haven't done a true keto with that much amount of fat, but I have done a very low carb paleo to help my ulcerative colitis. And whilst at the beginning, cutting out sugars completely or actually reducing them a lot was great, it helped my gut. And I did, and you know, I share how to do it in the 6-week plan. In the long run, it has made me gain weight, but unhealthy weight. So at the beginning, I had a great body composition and I was so happy with that. But after a while, I started gaining a lot of weight because it disrupted my hormones, it disrupted my adrenal function, and it took me almost 2 years to get it back. So be very careful with that. The second issue with ketogenic diets is they're so low in carbohydrates. So I would never advise to cut carbohydrates down that much. So when you do the 6-week plan, I show you good carbs to have in your diet because they're so important for hormonal function. You need good carbs. They're so important for sleep and for mood because when you release insulin, so insulin is the hormone you release when there's sugar in your blood. And you want to release moderate amounts of insulin. That's why I suggest having good carbs. Insulin is the precursor to serotonin, which is the happy hormone, which is the precursor to melatonin, which is the sleep hormone. So if you cut down your insulin production completely, unless you're diabetic, and that's where you want to go very, very low carb. But if you're not diabetic and you completely cut out carbs, your insulin function release is going to go down massively. As a result, your serotonin is going to go down. You're going to get depressed. And serotonin is also a natural appetite suppressant. So when I was on extremely low carb diet, at the beginning I did great. And then I thought, oh great, I'm going to eat like this for the rest of my life. What happened is I got depressed and also I was never full. So I ended up really overeating and overeating nuts and overeating fats and ending up gaining weight. And also, last but not least, it impairs your sleep function. And during sleep, we produce human growth hormone, which is one of the essential hormones for repair and growth. And it's also a hormone that burns fat. So you need good sleep. And that's why on the 6-week plan, I really advise you to have those good carbs in the evening so you can sleep well and hence then be healthier. And if you have weight to lose, you'll achieve a better body composition. Ketogenic diets, because they're so low in fat, they also disrupt thyroid function. And you can end up with low thyroid, which if your thyroid function is lower, you're gonna burn less. Everything works slower, you can end up constipated, your metabolic rate goes down, i.e. how many calories you burn per hour at rest, and you end up actually in the long run gaining weight. So I wouldn't advise going on a ketogenic diet, and especially not in the long run. If you need it to fix certain issues, and I wouldn't even go keto, I would go to fix those issues like inflammatory bowel disease, or if you have diabetes or hormonal issues, just follow the specialized advice section in the 6-week plan, because that is the right way to do a low carb without damaging your system for the long run. Because to get back your thyroid function, your adrenal function, your serotonin function, your human growth hormone function after being on such an extreme diet for a long time takes a while, and undoing damage takes a long time. And I know that because unfortunately I have tried and tested so many things before I devised this low inflammation gut health lifestyle that I'm sharing with you. So when you do my plan, it is because it is very finely calibrated, but it's not extreme. So it's very complicated to hurt yourself is the bottom line. And for me, that is so important. I would never put forward something that had chances of hurting people. And doing extreme things like the ketogenic diet can really end up hurting you. So please don't do anything extreme unless you are in an extreme situation. And if you do need to implement something like a ketogenic lifestyle, please do it under medical supervision and make sure your doctor approves of it. But don't go and do it yourself like that, because you could end up in a difficult place. I hope this video was useful. If you want to join the plan, just go on eatburnsleep.com. You can go and check the reviews, and you can start your journey to being a healthier and better version of you. Thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing day.